This conference will now be recorded.
Okay guys, let's get started. A very warm welcome to this Microsoft System Center Config Manager session. I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay guys. So today we will be discussing about SCCM. We will discuss about its historical details, what are sites in SCCM, what are site roles in SCCM, and the capability of SCCM servers. So we'll discuss about all those things step by step. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself, those who do not know about me. So my name is Kashif. I am from India, and I am a Microsoft certified professional. I have a total 11 years of experience. I have trained more than 8,000 students globally. And these are my certificate details, like I am a CCNA, MCTS, MCSA, MCSE certified professional. Um, I have expertise on SCCM, Intune, Active Directory, application packaging, Microsoft Azure, and PowerShell. I'm a BSc IT graduate from Mumbai University. So basically, this is about me. Now we'll talk about the duration of the training. Will The total number of hours we are going to take to finish all the topics, it's going to take 35 hours, and we'll be doing 1.5 hour session daily, Monday to Friday. So basically it is 1.5 hours and gonna take 25 days or 28 days maximum to finish all the topics what we have laid out in the course outline. If you join the weekend session, currently I'm not doing weekend session, but if it is a weekend session, then it is only on Saturday and Sunday, 3 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday. But we are doing weekday session, so 1.5 hours session every day. Now, so let's talk about the historical details of SCCM, when it started and where we are now. So it started in 1994. This is a Microsoft product, and previously it used to be called as System Management Server, SMS. In 1994, Microsoft released the first version of SCCM, and that was SMS 1.0. Then SMS 2.0 was released in 1999. Then SMS 2003 in the year 2003. Then Microsoft changed the name from SMS to SCCM in 2007. So from 2007 onwards, Microsoft changed the name System Center Config Manager. So basically, System Center is a family, and inside that family, you have a Config Manager as a product. So this one is like a big umbrella. Inside that umbrella, you have a Config Manager as one of your products. So inside SC System Center, you have other products as well, like SCOM, SCVM, SCSM. So Config Manager is one of the products inside System Center. So from 2007 onwards, Microsoft uh, started calling it as SCCM. So SCCM 2007, then with multiple versions. Then SCCM 2012 in the year 2012 with multiple versions. Then in the year 2015 November, Microsoft now stopped taking these names like SP2, SP3, R2. They started uh, putting it as year and month. So SCCM 15 is the year and 11 is the month. Then In the year 2016, these three versions were released: 16.02, 16.06, 16.10. Then in the year 2017, these three versions were released in Feb, June, and October. Similarly, in the year 2018, these three versions were released. The current version of SCCM, latest and greatest version of SCCM, is 19.02. That is released in the year 2019, February 2019. This version is in technical preview. This is not yet in production, but it is already out. If you would like to test this, you can download it and do your testing. So these are the historical details. So SCCM started in 1994, and the latest and greatest version of SCCM is 1909. So almost like more than 20 years now. So 24 years of SCCM so far. Now, after taking this training, if you are planning to take the certification, then you need to take this exam 70-703. Microsoft is conducting this exam. Exam name is Administering Microsoft System Center, Config Manager, and Cloud Services Integration. The total cost of the exam is going to be 160 US dollar. Total 1000 marks. You have to score at least 700 to pass the exam, and you will be awarded as MCTS. After you pass this exam, you will get Microsoft Certified Technology Specialist certificate from Microsoft. That's the certification details, guys. Now, let's talk about the opportunities in SCCM. So, SCCM holds like 43% of market share. Apart from SCCM, you have other products as well, like IBM Big Fix is there, Alltrace or Landesk. There are other deployment tools are available, but they are not on that large scale. SCCM is leading all those deployment tool. So 43% is a big number. So almost all big size companies and small size companies and mid size companies, you will see SCCM is already present. So if SCCM is there and people are using SCCM, they also need system administrator, those who can work on SCCM. So people who are working as system administrator on SCCM profile, they are earning somewhere around 45 US dollar as per the statistic. So the opportunities are listed in Dice and Indeed websites. These are the two leading job portals in US and Canada. Indeed and Dice website. Now those who are in India, they can expect somewhere around 8,000 Indian rupees per annum. 8,000 8,000 800,000 Indian rupees, sorry, per annum per year. That's the average salary for people who are working on SCCM profile. Now let's talk about sites. Now we have three sites in SCCM: central administration site, primary site, and secondary site. Now the first one, central administration site, is an optional site. Secondary site is also an optional site, but the primary site is the mandatory site. You have to have this site to manage devices. Without primary site, you cannot manage any devices in your company. This is a mandatory site. But this one is an optional. You may or may not have that one. And this one is optional too. You may or may not have that one. But the primary has to be there to manage the devices. Now, SCCM has three sites. I'll discuss about these sites in details. Now, a central administration site is, as we discussed, is an optional site in SCCM hierarchy. It is required on two conditions. The first condition is this one is required when the number of clients is more than 100,000. So if you have 100,000 devices, if you have more than 100,000 devices, then you need a central administration site. The second requirement to have a central administration site, if you have more than one primary site, then only you need a central administration site. These are the two requirements. Then only you can have central administration site. Otherwise, central administration site is not required at all. It is used for administration and reporting. It requires a SQL database. So it needs a SQL server database to store data. It does not process client data. So clients are not taking anything from this central administration site. This is like isolated site. Okay, clients are not, clients have got nothing to do with the central administration side. Does not support client assignment, and has a limited number of site system roles. I'll discuss about what is site system roles later. Then you have primary site. Primary site is the mandatory one. You have to have primary site, then only you will be able to manage devices. So you have primary site is a mandatory one. And primary site can manage up to 100,000 devices. One primary site can handle up to 100,000 devices. 1 lakh. Okay, we call it 1 lakh in India. 100,000 devices. It cannot be a child of another primary. Primary cannot be a child of another primary site. It's like a parent site on its own. It manages clients in well-connected network. This is the only site which manages client. It also requires SQL Server database. It replicates the data to central in case if it is connected to central administration site, then it will replicate the data to a central administration site if it's a part of the hierarchy. So I'll show you how the data will be replicated. And it supports client assignment. This is the only site which supports client assignment. And it consists of one or more than one site system role. So this is the mandatory and major one. Okay. Secondary site is like an optional site. It cannot exist without primary. So you have to have a primary site for secondary to exist. Without primary, secondary cannot exist. Okay. Why we need a secondary site? It is basically used when you have to manage the devices in remote location where you have low network bandwidth. So for branch offices, okay, it is not required if you do not have any branch offices. It either supports, you can take SQL Express or SQL Server database, anything of your choice, any one of them, okay, to store the data. It replicates its data to parent site by using file-based replication. So it uses file-based replication method to send the data to primary site database. Does not support client assignment. So client does not take any policies from here. It does not support client assignment. All the clients are assigned to the primary site. And it consists one or more system that host various sized system roles. Now I'll show you a diagram. Okay, so I'm gonna create one diagram so that you can understand it better. what are these sites. Now let's consider that you started your company. Okay, Reza, you have started your company, and the name of the company is Reza Private Limited. Okay, who just joined as guest? Hello, are you able to hear me? Guest, I don't see your name. Can you say something? Are you able to hear me, guest? Not sure. Okay, so Reza Private Limited is the name of the company. Now, this company is located in, let's say it's located in New York, and it has around 50,000 uh, employees. So 50,000 employees will need 50,000 computers at least, right? Now, to manage these devices in New York, where you have 50,000 devices, and those are all located in one building. Okay, they are all connected to one fiber cable LAN network. The devices are all at one place. So to manage these devices, you need one site called, let's say, primary site 1. This site is going to manage all the devices, all these 50,000 devices. Okay, it is managing all the 50,000 devices, and you don't have any branch office at the moment. So one primary site is more than sufficient to handle all the devices at one location. So we call it standalone primary site. Now suppose this company is growing bigger, and Reza has put up some branch offices. Let's say one branch office in London, one branch office in Mexico, one branch office in um Paris, another branch office in Budapest. And all these locations have some devices. Let's say London has 2,000 devices. Mexico has somewhere around 4,000 devices. And this one, Paris, has somewhere around 3,000 devices. And Budapest has somewhere around 5,000 devices. Now, these devices, 5,000 plus 3,000 plus 4,000 plus 2,000. So how much it is? 8 plus 4, 12 plus 2. 14,000 devices are located on remote location. So these 14,000 devices are not in the same location where other devices are. 50,000 devices are located in New York, but 14,000 devices are spread out to different locations. To manage these devices, it will be difficult for primary site to manage these 14,000 devices. So you see, 2,000 device will communicate over the WAN network, 4,000 devices, 3,000, like 14,000 devices will reach to primary site server over the WAN network. This primary site will be choked up. This is not going to work at all. Okay, so to solve this problem, what will you do? You'll put a secondary site on all these location. One secondary site here, one secondary site here, one secondary site here, and one secondary site here. So now previously it was making 14,000 connection. Now only 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 connections. So only the secondary site will be making the connection with this primary site. And devices in London will always talk to its respective secondary site and download the content. Devices in Mexico will always talk to this secondary site and will download the content. Similarly, Paris, similarly, Budapest. So you are managing the devices on remote location as well through secondary site. So that is the reason secondary site comes into the picture. Clear, guys? Everyone? Reza, Mohammed?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, mate, but I got a question. So you said secondary sites cannot communicate with the devices, is that right? Or cannot push policy? How does it work?
Sorry, your voice was breaking up. Sorry, can you repeat your question, please?
In the previous, previous screen, you told us the secondary site cannot hold up any client. Is that the case, or I missed something? Yeah, it does not support client assignment. What does this mean?
That means clients are always assigned to primary site. Secondary site is just for keeping the content and taking the device inventory. So secondary site in remote location, getting background noise. Okay, I had to put okay, yeah, thank you. Now, secondary side does not support client assignment. That means the devices will always be assigned to primary side. All these 2000 or 4000, 3000, it will always be assigned to this primary side. But if they need to download any content, they will always download it from here. And if they need to upload its inventory data, the devices will always upload the inventory data to secondary site, and then secondary site will take it further to the primary site. But the assignment will always be primary site. The devices will always be assigned to primary site. Got it?
But when we are
Yes,
installing
mate, thank
the
you.
patches,
Yeah. Sorry?
That's the problem. Yeah. So mute yourself.
Hello.
Mute yourself.
I'm getting background noise.
The mic is on top.
Sorry, go ahead, guys.
yeah, when we are installing the clients, pushing the clients to the like London 2K, so then how you will push it from the parent or from the secondary side?
Either you can push it from the parent primary side, or you can push it from the London. Both options are available. Okay. So client will download the installer, the SCCM installer from the London side or from the parent side. It is better to push it from the London side because otherwise it will create a network bandwidth issue. You know, the devices in London will talk to primary side and then download the content.
So we can see
So
the collection at London.
yes, we can create one collection. I'll show you all those things
Okay.
later
Okay.
on, how those
Okay.
client assignments are done and how the SCCM clients are pushed to the devices. That's going to be discussed later on. But you
Okay.
understood this primary site and secondary site. So this one
Yeah, yeah.
is primary site plus secondary site. Now, suppose Reza has expanded his business even bigger, and he put up some branch offices uh, in Europe as well, right? And Asia Pacific. So there are multiple branch offices in um, Americas, in Europe, in Asia Pacific. Now, the total number of devices is let's say somewhere around 300,000 devices now. Okay, 300,000 devices. Now, one primary site can manage up to 100,000 devices, not more than that. So, for example, this is America's region, Americas, and this has around 100,000 devices. This one is Europe, and this has 100,000 devices. And this one is Asia Pacific, and this one has 100,000 devices. Now, to manage more than 100,000 devices, you need more primary site. One primary site cannot manage devices more than 100,000 devices. So you need one primary site, we call it PS2, and that primary site will be managing the devices in this Europe location. Okay. And another primary site is required in Asia Pacific, primary site 3, and that will be managing the devices in Asia Pacific region. Now, either you separately manage these three primary site, so separately manage these primary site, or if you would like to manage these all 300,000 devices from a central location, then you need to have CAS, central administration site. So central administration site will be sitting on the top of the hierarchy, and all primary site will report to central administration site. So that is how the architecture of SCCM is designed. So it starts from a standalone primary site. Then if you expand your business to multiple locations, then you keep secondary sites. And if you go more than 100,000 devices, then you need additional primary site. And to manage the sites from a central site, you need central administration site. So that's what we have mentioned here. So if you started your business in Houston, your standalone primary site is sufficient. If you expanded your business in Seattle and Boston, then you need two secondary site in Seattle and Boston. And if the business is grown up in such a way that you need more than one primary site and you have more than 100,000 devices, then you put a central administration site on the top of the hierarchy, and then primary site, and then secondary site. That is how the SCCM architecture is defined. You have one more diagram here. So central will be sitting on the top of the hierarchy, and then you have primary site and then secondary site. Secondary site will always talk to its parent primary site. This secondary site cannot talk to this primary site. It is not possible. Okay. it will always talk to its parent secondary side. Similarly, this secondary side will always talk to its parent primary side. Secondary side cannot exist without primary. You must have a primary side for the secondary side to exist. Otherwise, secondary side cannot exist. Now, how the data flows. So data flows from downward to upward, from down to up. So secondary side collects the hardware inventory and software inventory from the devices, and then it sends the data. It stores the data in its either in SQL Express or SQL database. So either it stores the data and then it replicates the data or sends the data to primary side database. So primary side has a database, that is SQL database, and then primary side's data will be synchronized with or to central administration side database. So that is how the data is replicating from down to up, downward to upwards. Clear, guys? Now we have site roles in SCCM. There are n number of roles available. The first role is management point, and we have distribution point, software update point, fallback status point, application catalog website point and web service point, SMS provider, asset intelligence synchronization point, endpoint protection point, reporting services point, service connection point, and state migration point. These are the major roles available in SCCM. So either you install these roles on one server, or you can spread these roles on multiple servers. So some roles can be installed on uh, one server. Let's say you would like to keep distribution point and management point on one server, then these three roles you would like to install it on another server, let's say on second server. So SMS provider, asset intelligence synchronization, you can spread out on third server. You can do so. Okay, depends on the hardware requirement you have. Suppose if you do not have any limitation, then you put it on different servers. If you have limitation, then you put it on all of them on the same server. Now we'll discuss about these roles in details. The first one is management point. What is a management point? A management point is a communication bridge between SCCM server and the client. Without management point, SCCM server or SCCM client cannot talk to the server. So the communication cannot be established without management point. It's a major role in SCCM, management point. Now, devices will always come to management point and take all the policies from the management point. So the clients, SCCM clients, will take all the policies from the management point. So this is also called policy holder. Devices uploads all inventory data to management point. So management point also collects all the inventory data, let's say hardware inventory or software inventory of all the computers what you have in your company. So a management point keeps takes all the data and send it to the database. It can be installed on primary side, secondary side, or any other Windows server. So it is not limited that you have to install only on primary side. It can be installed on primary, secondary, or any other Windows server. Now, to give you more clarity, I have drawn this diagram. So management point cannot talk to, management point is acting as a bridge between the client and the server. The client cannot talk to the server directly, so client always talk to management point, and management point is like a keeping all the policies, and the devices will take all the policies from management point. Now, the second role is distribution point. Distribution point is also very important role. So without this, the devices will not be able to download the content. So distribution point is a content storage, like a warehouse or a godown where you keep all your software update files or software application files or operating system files. So all the devices will have to have one distribution point at least, and devices will always talk to that distribution point and download the content from that particular distribution point. So devices will download content from distribution point. It can be installed on primary, secondary, or any other Windows server. Now, just to give you more clarity, so devices will always download the content from distribution point. So if any device is not able to reach to the distribution point due to some reason, then that device will not be able to download the content. Software update point. It is required to integrate WSUS in SCCM. So basically, software update point is required to integrate WSUS, Windows Server Update Services. This is for patch deployment, guys. To deploy software updates to your target computers or all the computers in your company, you need WSUS. And to integrate WSUS in SCCM, you need software update point. So using this software update point, you can deploy software updates from SCCM to client computers. Okay, so you don't need to go to WSUS. You can use software update point to deploy updates to client computers using SCCM. It can be installed on primary, secondary, or any other Windows server. So currently, what happens, WSUS talks to Microsoft Update Server. But if you would like to integrate WSUS in SCCM, you need software update point. So software update point will help you to integrate WSUS in SCCM. And from WSUS, you can deploy patches to your target computers. Okay, so patches can be installed to your devices. Now, the fourth role is fallback status point. Fallback status point is like an alternate method of communication. In case something is not working, then fallback status point comes into the picture. So fallback status point is a role to receive state messages from client computers when MP is down. When management point is not working, for example, management point is down, devices will not be able to take any policies from that management point server because that is down. But fallback status point will receive state messages from client computers. The client computers can talk to fallback status point server and updating its information like it status, whether it is the client is reachable on the network, it's healthy and communicating. So fallback status point comes into the picture when a management point is down. Client can use fallback status point to download the content. For example, Mumbai distribution point is down. The devices in Mumbai will not be able to download the content because Mumbai distribution is down. So devices can connect to any other distribution point to download the content, and that distribution point will act as a fallback status point distribution point. So devices can go to Chennai distribution point to download the content. So Chennai will become the fallback status point. It can be installed on primary site, secondary site, or any other Windows server. So just to give you more clarity, for example, you have 5 distribution point, right? And these five distribution points are located in 5 different regions. Now, all these distribution points, clients are assigned to these distribution points. So basically, these 3 clients are assigned to this distribution point. These 3 clients are assigned to this distribution point. These are assigned to this distribution point, and similarly this one and this one. Now everything is working fine except if something goes wrong. For example, Mumbai distribution point is down. Mumbai's distribution point is down. The client, these 3 clients or 30,000 clients or 300 clients or 3,000 clients, all these clients are not able to download anything from this one because this is down. This is not working. So it can connect to fallback status point and download the content from there. So this is called fallback status point, guys. Now, application catalog website point. Application catalog website point is to create a website, and users in your company can go to that website and download the content. So just like self-service portal, guys. So like a website, you can create one website and all your users can go to this website and you will publish these applications on that website. So if user needs any application, they will click on this and then they will click on install. And the moment they click on install, it will get installed in their computer. So to create this website, we need application catalog website. The second role is application catalog web service point. So basically this website is created, but to publish these application, you need application catalog web service point. So to publish these application, you need to install one role called application catalog web service point, and this role will help you to connect to SCCM server. So from SCCM server, you can publish these applications here on this website because of this role. So if you do not install this role, you will not be able to publish any application to this website. So that's the role of application catalog web service point, guys. SMS provider. Basically, it's a postman between SCCM and database. So this guy, SMS provider, will sit in between SCCM and SQL database. SCCM works on WMI query language. So it will take WMI query language and then it will convert it into SQL language and feeds into SQL database. So SMS provider is basically a postman or mediator or interpreter between SCCM server and SQL database server. It can be installed on primary, secondary, or any other server. Then you have asset intelligence synchronization point. This is required to categorize software plus for licensing utilization. So basically it can be installed on primary, secondary, or any other Windows server. So suppose in Mumbai you have like 50,000 computers or 5,000 computers. So in 5,000 computers, let's say you have somewhere around 50,000 applications. In 5,000 computers, you have 50,000 softwares. So it will help you to do the categorization like this. So it will categorize application like these belong to browser family, right? These belong to player family. These belong to database family, and these belong to developer family. So all those 50,000 application will be categorized, and it will be categorized in such a way that you can also understand the the category of those application, and it will give you the information about on Google Chrome how many computers are there with Google Chrome. So let's say 500 computers with Google Chrome. Firefox is installed in 2000 computers. Internet Explorer 5000 computers. Internet Explorer is installed. UC Browser 2000. It will give you the number as well. So asset intelligence synchronization point is basically to categorize all the softwares which are installed on all the computers. Then you have endpoint protection. Endpoint protection is to deploy antivirus. So you don't need to purchase a new antivirus software, uh, Semantic or Norton or AVG or any other antivirus tool which you purchase from third-party vendor. You don't need to do it because endpoint protection is already integrated in SCCM. You can deploy antivirus to all your computers, and your computers will be safe and secured from viruses and malware. It can be installed on primary, secondary, or any other Windows server. Reporting services point, it is basically to fetch the report from database. So in SCCM, if you would like to get the database reports, you need to install this reporting services point, and then you can get the reports whatever present in database into SCCM. So basically you get the reports in SCCM from the database. So you are basically integrating reports in SCCM using reporting services point. Service connection point is to keep SCCM up to date. So tomorrow, if you would like to upgrade to 1902, SCCM 1906 or 1910, the latest version of SCCM is coming up, and if you would like to update it to the latest one, you need this role, service connection point. So it helps you to keep your SCCM up to date. The second thing is required to integrate Intune in SCCM. So Intune is Microsoft product which helps you to manage your mobile devices. To integrate Intune in SCCM, you need service connection point. So service connection point does two things. One is it keeps the SCCM up to date, plus it is required to integrate Intune in SCCM. It can only be installed on primary. You cannot install on secondary side or central administration side. It can only be installed on primary side server. So you have Microsoft Update Server and Microsoft Intune. So to integrate Intune and to keep SCCM updated, you need service connection point. So service connection point will talk to Microsoft Update Server and will update SCCM. And to integrate Intune in SCCM, you need service connection point. Then you have state migration point. This is basically to migrate any computer from one operating system to another operating system. So before the migration starts, you will capture the user setting. So let's say if you would like to migrate a user from Windows 7 to Windows 10. So first, before the migration starts, you capture the user setting, copy the user setting on a network shared location. So a state migration point comes into the picture. It will capture all those information on a network share. So on this share, it will save all these files. And when the operating system is upgraded from Windows 7 to Windows 10, then it will restore the settings back on this computer. So whatever you had in Windows 7, all those users profile will be restored on that computer. Then we have SCCM's feature and functionalities. So what all things SCCM can do? So it does asset management. So in asset management, it does software and hardware inventory. So let's say if you have 5,000 devices or 50,000 devices, to find out the hardware configuration of all the computers, or what all software installed in all the computers, right? SCCM can get all those data, and you can get it from the SCCM reporting section. Asset intelligence for categorization of software. Software metering is to find out the utilization of software, how many people are using licensed application. It will give you a report, the utilization report. Then you have client management. So basically you manage application deployment, software update deployment, operating system deployment. So you can deploy application to all the devices. You can deploy patches to keep up computers up to date, and you can also deploy operating system. Content management, so it is basically managing all the contents which are present in SCCM, like all softwares. It will also do compliance evaluation. It will help you to check how many computers are compliant and how many computers are non-compliant. Okay, so compliance setting is basically used for compliance evaluation. Power management, for example, after 7 o'clock in the evening, nobody is available, and you would like to turn off the monitors of all the computers, or shut down all the computers, or put them in the sleep mode or hibernate mode, so that electricity uh, consumption will be reduced during non-peak hours. So power management will help you to do that. Client health, as you guys know, SCCM is a server and client facing tool. So you can get a report of all the computers where clients are healthy or unhealthy for troubleshooting. Endpoint protection for antivirus deployment. Mobile device management, you can deploy or manage mobile devices. Then you have administrative feature, role-based administration. Suppose if there are 3 people in your team and they need different roles in SCCM, so predefined roles are available. So some people will have a application deployment, some people will have a software update deployment, and some people will have a operating system deployment. So there are predefined roles for them. You can assign these roles to those people, so they will have access only to the assigned role. Cannot, application deployment guys cannot deploy software updates. They will not have access to do that. Remote management, you can remote into user's computer using remote feature. Reporting, you can get your reports, and monitoring, you can monitor your SCCM components. Clear, guys?
Yeah.
Now we will do lab setup either on local computer or Microsoft Azure Cloud Data Center. So for local computer, this is the minimum requirement. You need to have at least 12 gigabyte of RAM, quad-core processor, and 300 gigabyte of hard drive. For if you do not have this configuration, then you go on cloud, Microsoft Azure Cloud Data Center, and one computer is sufficient with internet connection. This is going to be our lab architecture. So we'll have a 3 Windows server and 1 Windows client computer. And all these Windows servers will be talking to each other on the same LAN network. Question, guys? Anyone has any question?
I have some of the questions. I just wrote it out. In the first concept, if you have a bunch of users having, work from home option or remote users, can we manage using just primary site? Like, the ideal setup is like all the users are below 5,000. All the company users are below 5,000, and they spread it all around United States. So can we manage using just only primary site?
Yes, we will be able to manage it, but if the bandwidth is not good at all, then it will take a lot of time to download and the content from the primary to the remote devices. Got it?
Yeah, I got it. So what is the need of secondary site in these kind of in this kind of situation? Do we need to put secondary sites for each state, or what is the best
Yeah,
option?
the best option for secondary side, if you have more than 500 devices in remote location. Let's say San Francisco has 1,000 computers, right? So you need one secondary site for San Francisco. If you do not have more than 500 devices, if you just have like 300 devices, you don't need a secondary site. Just one distribution point can be placed in that location, and the devices can download the content from there. Got it?
Yeah, I got it. So the second question is, can we install these roles? You said 10 or 11 roles that we can distribute with the different servers. So what is the criteria on that too? Can we install all the roles in single server, or
Yes,
is it
you can.
okay?
You can install all these roles on one primary site server as well. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
have limited hardware, let's say your company is not allowing you to build more servers, just one server is sufficient for all these roles. But you have to have a good configuration of that computer. Otherwise, these roles might hamper the performance of primary site server.
Oh, okay. So there's no any criteria for, like, if you have these many computers that need to manage, then go with the 2 or 3 servers or something, not right?
The ideal situation is if you have more than 10,000 devices, then you should spread the roles on multiple servers. Otherwise, you can install everything on one primary site server.
So it doesn't matter about the storage. I mean, if
No,
for suppose if you have a 5,000 or 6,000 applications that need to be stored, so it doesn't matter.
it does not matter.
Oh, okay, thank you. And can we manage tablets, mobiles with SCCM without Intune?
No, for mobile devices, mobile operating system, you have to have Intune. Let's say Android, iPhone, you know, those on those devices, if you would like to manage, then you need to Intune. But suppose Linux devices or Ubuntu or MacBook, you can manage without Intune, but you have to install SCCM client on those computers.
Okay. So on the last diagram, you showed 3 different servers. One is domain controller, one is SCCM primary, one is SQL. So what is domain controller?
Domain controller is like the Active Directory server. Have you worked on Active Directory?
Yeah, I did a little bit.
Yeah, so Active Directory is one of the components of domain controller. Domain controller is a prerequisite. It's a basic requirement. You must have that one. Without that, you will not be able to install SCCM. So in every company, whether you have SCCM or you don't have SCCM, you have domain controller.
Oh,
Almost
okay.
every company.
Oh, okay.
So in domain controller, we actually create the users, the computers. So all computers and users account and everything will be present in Active Directory. Active Directory is controlling all the authentication. When you type in, when you go to Office and type in Control-Alt-Delete, it will ask you for username and password. When you enter the username and password, it goes to the domain controller and checks with the Active Directory database whether the username is and password is correct or not, and then only you will be able to log in. So that's a general deployment. In every company you will have that one.
Oh, okay. And so we can, okay, with the Intune only we can deploy the operating system for tablet or mobile, right?
Now Intune, we cannot deploy operating system. We can deploy applications on mobile devices.
Oh, so how does work with the tablets and mobile if we want to deploy the no the operating system kind of thing? For suppose if I take a Mac Surface, oh sorry, Microsoft Surface Pro tablets, so maybe.
Microsoft Surface Pro tablet is fine. You can manage my Surface Pro from SCCM without Intune client. You need
So
to
we
have
can
SCCM
use
agent.
our Windows 10 bare image, Windows 10 image,
Yes,
right?
you're right.
Oh, okay. So, thank you.
No worries.
Kashif,
Any other question? Yes.
yeah, actually, if I doesn't know the architecture, I have got they have given me the role for the SSCM. I doesn't have the documentation. So how to check this is a primary or secondary, or it's based on the roles or installed, or how it is?
I will show you. I'll show you all those information when we install SCCM in our lab
Okay.
environment. Then
Yeah.
I'll show you how to check an existing deployed SCCM architecture, and you will
Okay.
be able to see that automatically. You will be able to understand.
Okay.
Sorry, just a
Okay.
quick question. How many management points can we have?
One primary site server can manage. Okay, I think that I missed that part. Let me just show that. You good question. Discard. One primary site server can have 10 management point. You see, current version. Yeah. So, sorry, this is the capability. So one central administration site can have maximum 700,000 devices. One primary site can have maximum 250 secondary site, 250 distribution point, and 10 management point. So one management point can support up to 25,000 devices. One management point, how much? 25,000 devices. So if you have 50,000 devices, you need 2 management points. Got it? Reza, is your
Yes,
question
great.
answered?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So one primary site, as I told you, is capable enough to handle maximum 100,000 devices. And one secondary site is capable enough to handle 5,000 devices. Now the current version of SCCM is secondary site is managing up to 15,000 devices in the latest version of SCCM. Okay. Any other question, guys? Who is this administrator and guest? Guys, can you say something? Guest? Are you able to hear me? Or administrator? I'm not able to hear you guys.
Hi, Kashif, this is Chima.
Hi, Chima. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Fine, thank you. Yeah, so I was trying
I
to,
joined a
yeah,
little
because,
bit late.
hmm?
I said I'm sorry I joined a little bit late. I'm behind.
No worries. I actually did not know because you joined as guest. So if you joined as Chima, then I would have understood. Okay, no worries. So, do you have any questions so far? What you have attended so far? Any
Not
question?
really. No, not really.
Okay, so basically, I'm gonna share the recording. So I would like you um, to see the recording so that you get all the concept clear.
All right.
Okay, so administrator, what is your name, administrator? Suren. Okay, you have audio issue. Okay, any question from administrator or Muhammad, Hari, Reza, Chima, anyone?
No question from my side.
Okay. Now, I would like you guys to let me know who all are going on cloud and who all are going on local lab setup.
I am going to cloud because I have a Mac computer I can install.
Okay. You can install on Mac computer if you have, you need to install VMware Workstation on that and you can do that. But Mac computer should have good configuration. But that's fine. You go on cloud. Okay. Let's not do, what's your name?
Hurry.
Hari will go on cloud. Now, Reza.
Yeah, cloud, please.
Okay. Mohammed,
I will go on local.
local setup. Okay. So you have this minimum
Yeah, yes.
configuration, right?
Yeah, yeah, I will. Yeah.
Very good. Now, Chima,
Um,
what's your computer configuration?
I think my gig is not as much as it could contain.
Okay.
It's
So you
about
will go on cloud, right?
yeah, I'll go. Yeah.
Okay. So you need one computer with internet connection. That's more than sufficient to go on cloud. Now, who else? Suren, cloud. And the last person, Ashok, I think you already on cloud, right, Ashok?
Yeah.
Okay, so almost all the people are on cloud. Mohammed, I would also
Yeah.
suggest you to to no, you are going on local, that is good. But you side by side, if you do
Yeah.
cloud
Okay.
setup as well, then
Okay.
you will have both the knowledge, the local setup plus the
Cloud.
cloud setup. That's
Okay.
not mandatory, but just to give you, get more exposure.
Okay.
Fine. Now, those who are going on cloud, what they will have to do is they will need to go to a website, live.com. I'll send you this on email. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is the website, and you need to create your Microsoft account. So create free account. Clear? I
Clear.
already have an account. That is the reason I think it is signing me in. You need to create your free account. Once you create your account, then you need to go to portal dot no sorry Azure free trial, and then click on this Azure free trial, Microsoft Azure. It will give you 200 credit, $200 credit. So you need to click on this and click on this free account and start free. When you click on that, it will ask you for information like your first name, last name, your address, country code, phone number, email address, all those information you need to fill in. And then it will ask you for credit card just for the verification. They are not going to charge you anything. Okay, just for the verification, you need to provide credit card details, and then you will get your Azure subscription ready. Then you go portal.azure.com.
So I got a question. After the free trial, are they gonna take charge?
Now, after 30 days, they will send you a couple of emails that if you would like to continue, then you have to change the subscription from free trial to that one, pay as you go account. Basically, they will disable your account after 30 days. And if you would like to continue, then only you have to change the subscription. Otherwise, they will delete all your resources from Azure. Let's say if you create a couple of virtual machines in the first 30 days, you will not be able to access them until you go on pay as you go account. As you see, this is pay as you go account. So after 30 days, it will Microsoft will ask you to change the subscription. If you don't change it, then it will be disabled. The Azure account will be disabled. You don't have to pay anything
And
until
your
you
credit
change the
card won't
subscription.
not be changed, right?
No, nothing. Okay, so I would expect everyone, those who are on going on cloud, to create your Azure subscription. And tomorrow we will start doing the practicals. Like we will start building up our servers in cloud, and we'll do all the prerequisite installation. I'll send you an email, and you have to follow that step-by-step email to create your Azure subscription. This is my WhatsApp number, 989235 no 9892354331. This is my WhatsApp number, or you can call me on this number as well. So you can send me a hi message, guys. I'm gonna create one WhatsApp group for all these people. Okay, and then we'll start. I'll put all those you know training details and documents and everything on this WhatsApp. And those who have not made the payment, kindly make the payment.
Yeah.
Any question?
No.
Okay, so we'll start from tomorrow with the practical session, and we'll do. We have a day-wise plan here, as you see. So from tomorrow onwards, we will do the subscription of Azure Resource Explorer, resource group, virtual machine, virtual network. Then we'll have step by step, all the day-wise plan is mentioned here. And I think I have shown you guys the course content. If you don't have the course content, I'll forward that course content. SCCM trainer profile. The course content is SCCM and Intune course content. So first of all, we will discuss about the site. That's what we did. We discussed about sites. What are sites in SCCM? Primary, secondary, central. Then we will deploy primary site. Then we will discover resources. We will push agent to all the computers. We'll manage the inventory data like software, hardware inventory, software metering. We'll do reports and query. We'll do software deployment. I will deploy application in application model and package model. Then we will deploy software updates, the patch deployment. Then we will deploy operating system with multiple methods. Then endpoint protection. Then compliance setting, mobile device management, power management and remote control, SCCM backup and disaster and recovery, addition of new secondary site. So how will we add a new secondary site on a remote location? And the last topic is this one, a maintenance window, role-based administration, accessing SCCM. These are the small topics. So basically it is after taking this session, you will be able to easily administer SCCM environment. Clear, guys? Everyone?
Okay.
Can I have your number again?
Yes. Okay, guys. We'll meet again same time tomorrow. I'll send you the recordings. Kindly send me a hi message on WhatsApp, okay? So that I can create a WhatsApp group, add you all. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.